right, good evening. On behalf of the cast, it is my pleasure to welcome you this evening to our performance of Murder on the 518. Our students have worked hard to prepare for this production, so in order to provide an enjoyable experience for our players and for you, the audience, we would ask you to do the following things. Please turn off the ringers on your phones, if you haven't already done so. If you have children who become restless, please remove them from the performance until they are quiet again. And thirdly, please refrain from carrying on conversations during the performance. The play runs approximately 80 minutes. We will have a short intermission. Concessions will be available at that time over here to your left. My wife has requested that if you do take photos and would be willing to do so, send them to her at either lpfitch@gmail.com or lpfitch@yahoo.com. She's always in need of pictures for our yearbook. So, and a lot of you have good cameras. Am I hearing things behind the curtain?
Yeah, they can send it to school if they don't remember those addresses.
Oh, okay. What she said. Okay. Always a surprise. Okay. And never a disappointment. All right. We'd like to have a word of prayer, and then our performance will begin. Our Father, we thank you tonight for the hard work of these students. We thank you for each one who has had a part in preparing for this play tonight. Help them to do well. Help them remember their lines and cues. I pray, Lord, that we'll have an enjoyable evening. We pray, Lord, that you will be honored in what is done this evening. And we just thank you for your faithfulness and your mercy and your grace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Now boarding on platform 2. Departure in 15 minutes. All aboard West Coast 518.
I can't believe this day has finally arrived. The day I get to head to Los Angeles with the love of my life on our honeymoon. Can you believe we've already been married for 3 whole weeks, Caleb?
It feels like only yesterday my beautiful bride became my beautiful wife. I can't wait to spend the next 10 days exploring Los Angeles with you, Rachel.
Walking along the beach,
Visiting all the museums.
going on all the rides at Disneyland.
Seeing all the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I'm so excited! I've been looking forward to this trip every minute of every day since our wedding. I don't want anything to spoil our wonderful time together.
Well, we better hurry up and get our tickets. We don't want to miss the train.
Ella entered the train station. The platform was brightly lit against the dimming light of the waning day. People were moving to and fro, hustling and bustling to reach their destinations. Ella approached the ticket counter, eager to begin her own journey.
May I help you, ma'am?
The ticket seller asked, "May I help you, ma'am?" Ella replied, "Why, yes, thank you. May I please have one ticket to Los Angeles?"
Ma'am, are you saying you would like to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles?
Ella sighed in frustration at the ticket seller, who did not seem to understand her simple request to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles. It was imperative that Ella get to Los Angeles the next day to meet with his publisher and present her latest collection of short stories.
Ma'am, if I could just have your attention for one moment. I'm not sure I understand.
Yes, I need to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles. I just said that.
My apologies, ma'am. I wasn't certain if you were speaking to me or your notepad.
As a writer, I need to be constantly aware of my surroundings and record every detail so that I can incorporate it into my work. Even everyday conversations and interactions can find their place in the written world.
I see. Well, here's your ticket. Enjoy your trip to Los Angeles.
With a ticket finally in hand, Ella made her way to the boarding platform as the warm evening breeze swirled about.
How can I help you, sir?
One for Los Angeles!
Yes, sir. Would you like to keep your sports equipment with you or check the bag?
My equipment goes where I go. You never know when the opportunity to use it will arise. You need to be prepared.
I don't think there's going to be a chance to play basketball on the train, sir.
I didn't become Mike Umbar, top sports recruiter in the Western Conference with that type of attitude.
Excuse me? I think the pursuit of knowledge should be held in a more esteem than the pursuit of basketball championships, especially at a university. I hope the students you recruit understand the value of receiving an education and do not think entirely of their college experience should be spent seeking approval of mindless sports fans.
How dare you talk about sports that way? Sports provide teamwork, physical fitness, critical thinking, and so much more. Just who do you think you are?
Professor Holly Barnes, University of Utah, Department of Physics and Astronomy. While you spend your time running around a basketball court in circles, I spend my time researching the night sky.
Isn't it a little bright in Los Angeles to be researching the night sky?
For your information, I'm gonna go give a presentation on the Perseids at the Griffith Observatory. The meteor shower was particularly spectacular due to the waxing crescent moon.
You think I'm the crazy one? You're speaking gibberish, nerd.
Neanderthal.
We can help the next two customers, please.
Good evening. One for Los Angeles, please.
I'm going to Los Angeles too.
One for Los Angeles, please. I'm Abby Wells.
Dr. Lauren Maloney. Nice to meet you.
You're a doctor? I'm studying medicine. Well, veterinary medicine. I'm going to Los Angeles to get some experience as an aquatic vet tech. There isn't much chance to work with marine life here in Utah, if you know what I mean.
Well, thank you, but I'm an emergency room physician, not a veterinarian. I doubt I could help you very much with your marine studies.
But so much of medicine can be applied across disciplines. I read that in my Introduction to Marine Studies book. I think it was talking about animal studies, but I mean humans are mammals, right?
Listen, I do have my job, but everyone needs some time off. Wouldn't you agree? I'm spending my time off visiting some family in Los Angeles, and truly, work is the last thing I want to think about. It was nice meeting you, though.
Thank you. Next customers, please.
Hello there, my ticket-selling friend. Now I'm gonna need one ticket to the city of flowers and sunshine.
I'm sorry, where, sir?
The City of Angels? The Big Orange? La La Land?
I'm afraid I still don't understand, sir.
He means Los Angeles. And will you stop your tapping? I've been reading the same paragraph over and over while we were in line because I can't concentrate with all that racket. And could I get one ticket to Los Angeles, please?
Why so serious, my newspaper reading friend? What's taking you off to the coast?
I am not your friend. My name is Morgan Casey. I'm a private investigator. I'm trying to read this article about bank fraud, but you seem intent on stopping that from happening. And of course, we're on the same train.
Private investigator, huh? That sounds pretty exciting. Music can be very exciting too, but probably in a different way.
Definitely in a different way. And since you'll probably tell me anyhow, what takes you to the coast? Peace and love?
Nope, I'm off to the coast to ride my way in the top-end showbiz. This guitar, it's my ticket to the good life. It won't be long before you see the name Nelson Henry, musical sensation in that newspaper there of yours, friend.
I am not your friend, and stop that racket!
Next customers, please.
It just doesn't make any sense, Jennifer. You can't base the success of a restaurant on the desserts alone. It's not a bakery, it's not a cafe, it's a restaurant, and the entrees are going to be the main feature.
You aren't even listening to me, Derek. That isn't what I said at all. The restaurant won't survive if we bill it as just another seafood place in Los Angeles. We have to have that extra piece of flair that draws people in, and that flair will be found in my desserts.
Spoken like a true pastry chef, making yourself the center of attention. Well, I'm the executive chef, and the owners told me I could take the restaurant in any direction I wanted when they hired us to be the new chef team.
Exactly. Chef team. As in the both of us. not the Chef Derek show.
Excuse me, but we need to keep the line moving. Do you need to purchase some tickets?
Sorry for the holdup. My husband here always seems to think that he's the center of attention, both in and out of the kitchen. 2 for Los Angeles, please.
Jennifer, if we are ever going to get this restaurant off the ground, you might want to realize that I deserve to be the center of attention in the kitchen.
What part of the word team is confusing you?
Next customers, please.
This place is disgusting. Just look around. It's too hot. That train is making smoke. And is that sand blowing around on the floor? This is not a place I should be expected to set foot in.
Isabella, we've been over this. You have to take the train to Los Angeles as part of your next film, Sunset on the Rails. West Coast Railways is the company providing the trains for the film, and they said they won't have their name appearing in your movie unless you're seen actually riding one of their trains for publicity. It's in your contract.
Well, Lucy, I have no idea why you agreed to that. You are supposed to look out for my interests, and this is not something a movie star would be interested in.
I'm your assistant, Isabella, not your agent. He's the one who agreed to do this. Besides, I'm sure it won't be as bad as you're making it out to be.
Excuse me, miss, but those women were in line before you. Please step aside.
I am Isabella Madison, star of the movie One More Day, which is currently top grossing in Iceland, Greenland, and Norway. I don't step aside, and I certainly don't wait in lines for people. People wait in lines for me.
That's ridiculous. Just because you're a movie star doesn't mean you can just cut in front of people in line.
It's okay. Take care of them. We can wait. Jillian will be up there in a second. Don't worry about it.
She can't just get her own way because she made some foreign film that no one has ever heard of. You deserve more respect than she does. She should wait behind you. You're the CEO of Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals.
And as CEO, Jillian, I'm telling you not to worry about it.
And that is final. I don't care if the only sleeper car you have left houses 2 people. I demand my own. And when is dinner? I'm famished from this whole ordeal.
Dinner will be served tonight, 7 o'clock in the dinner car, and breakfast will be served tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
The food on this train had better be prepared by competent chefs. The last thing I need on this journey is substandard cuisine. And I had best have my own table in the dining car. I will not be forced to interact with these commoners.
Sorry for the inconvenience, ladies. Thank you for your patience. Where are you heading?
No problem. It wasn't your fault. 2 tickets to Los Angeles, please.
Certainly. And would you like to check any of your bags?
No, we have a presentation with Sunset Pharmaceuticals as soon as the train arrives, and we don't have time to wait for the bags to be unloaded.
I still don't understand why we can't just fly there, Miss Millen. We could have arrived tonight and had plenty of time to get ready for your presentation. Or should I say, get ready for your takeover? This will be the 3rd company that Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals has acquired this year.
You know I always worry that the change in air pressure will ruin our samples. We can't have anything go wrong with this presentation. It's really big, Jillian.
Of course, Miss Millen. Right as always.
All aboard, West Coast 518. Final boarding call. Departure in 5 minutes. All aboard, West Coast 518.
I need 1 ticket to Los Angeles, please.
The train to Los Angeles, sir?
Yes, it doesn't matter where it's heading. All that matters is that Isabella Madison is on it too, and that means I need to be on it.
Why must you be on this train, sir?
Because I'm Sydney Bennett, paparazzo extraordinaire. I heard she had to take a train to her new contract, so I followed her all the way from Salt Lake City. I've been waiting in this station for 2 days, waiting for her to show up.
We're well aware.
And my patience has finally paid off. Because I watched every person board this train, and no one else is here on assignment. Photos of Isabella Madison throwing her tantrums on this train are going to skyrocket me to the top.
All aboard, West Coast 518. Now leaving. All aboard, West Coast 518.
tables, each adorned in modest drapery, stood anxiously awaiting the arrival of their occupants, eager to fulfill their purpose. The three staff members moved about, excitedly seeing to their activities.
Good evening, ma'am. The dining car has assigned seating. May I see your ticket, please?
Ella was startled by the arrival of the steward. She had not realized that she would need to bring her ticket to dinner with her, and was frightfully unprepared for this conversational exchange.
Excuse me, ma'am, but if I could just see your sleeping cabin number, I can check my list and see where your assigned table is. We posted a chart by the entrance, but you arrived beforehand.
I like to be the first one to arrive in group settings. It gives me the opportunity to make as many observations as possible for my short stories. I'm Ella Williams, writer, Sleeping Cabin 14.
Ah, yes, Miss Williams. Turns out cabin 14 is actually assigned to this table. May I get you anything else to drink while you wait?
Ella was pleased with the good fortune of selecting the table at which she was supposed to sit. As she desired no other beverage than the water that was already provided, the remaining waitstaff returned to the kitchen to continue with their dinner preparations.
And it says right here that working in beach rescue can be just as taxing as working in an emergency room. I told you there's so much you could teach me.
Yes, I do imagine that rescuing an injured sea creature on the beach can be a very stressful situation. But as I said before, I would really like to leave work off the train. I would just like to travel in peace. Okay, cabin 6, table 2.
Oh my goodness, I'm at table 2 with you. I'm gonna have the best time on this trip.
At least one of us will.
I truly hope you aren't planning to entertain the diners with that instrument of yours. Some of us came to the dining car to actually dine.
Oh, come on now, friend. Some people will find inspiration by music while eating.
That's true. I've been trying to convince my husband that adding tasteful live music to our restaurant would be a great draw for patrons. But he's convinced that adding live music would distract from the atmosphere.
Is your husband on this train, friend? I would love to inform him on the benefits of music while dining, and maybe even offer my services to this restaurant of yours.
He's supposed to be meeting me here for dinner. He ran off as soon as we got on the train to go who knows where, but I'm not going to stand around and wait for him. He can meet me at the table. It was nice to meet you.
Nelson Henry. I'll keep a close eye out for your friend, and maybe we can inform him that music is the key to success.
The same train, and now the same table. What does a girl have to do to get a break around here?
Oh, come on, friend. I mean, you gotta give our friendship a chance.
And why is that exactly?
Because, I mean, you never know when inspiration will strike. In fact, you might not even know when you're gonna need a friend. And I think I might even know a song about that.
Please don't.
Well, maybe my writer friend here would enjoy a nice dinner tune. And I was just saying how music can enhance the dining experience.
Ella winced at the prospect of the guitar-wielding man at her dinner table, regaling her in song. However, she decided to give in, as arguing would only likely delay the song's inevitable arrival.
Oh, come on now, friends. Why so serious?
I am not your friend, and do you even know what the word serious means? How do you expect to launch your music career being this passive?
I think you misunderstand me, friends. I'm very serious about my music. But where will I be if I'm as uptight as you, not even willing to make a friend, or always having my face in a notepad? I want to enjoy the journey.
While you may want to enjoy the journey, I want to record the journey. Writers need a great deal of material to create and work from, and recording day-to-day activities helps to provide that material.
You know, in some ways, being a private investigator is like that. Like in this bank fraud case I was just investigating. The scheme was complex. There were lots of moving players in the game. If I hadn't been paying attention to my surroundings, I never would have realized it was the security guard walking the bonds out the front door.
Okay, serious friends, no dinner music. But perhaps I can provide some of the serious energy at this table to write a serious song. May I borrow a piece of paper, my writer friend?
She is not your friend either. None of us are friends. Our first honeymoon meal, darling. And look, we're at table 1.
And we're in cabin 1. Must be because we boarded the train first.
I think it's because I'm your number 1 and you're my number 1.
Oh my goodness. You two must be on your honeymoon. No one who's been married longer than a week would be acting like the two of you.
We are on our honeymoon. Well, we've only been married for 3 weeks, and we love each other as much as ever.
Are you married?
Yes, I am. Though I seem to be flying solo at the moment. Where on earth is Derek? Dinner's gonna be served soon. I guess I'll have to order for him.
Why couldn't you have just left your case in the cabin? The door does have a lock on it, and so does your case, and you're the only one that has the key.
You're probably right. But as I said earlier, this is a big acquisition. And if anything would have happened to the sample, the presentation just would not go well. I'll just slip it under the table where it won't bother anyone.
Hey there. That's a very nice camera you have there. Are you a professional photographer? You can get some lovely shots of the scenery while we travel.
Of sorts, but the only thing I want to photograph is here on the train with us.
Paparazzo, eh? Those people cause all sorts of trouble for good athletes. Just leave people in peace.
Can you keep it down? I'm here to photograph Isabella Mattis. You know, the movie star. Besides, I need to go sit down before she sees me.
It seems to me that if people don't want the attention of the media, then perhaps they should choose careers that are less high profile.
Another crack at athletes. Just because no one is interested in what you do doesn't make what we do less important.
Didn't I see you two arguing, Oyo? What is going on?
Oh, we're in a bit of a disagreement about academics. I believe that the pursuit of knowledge is the most notable endeavor. Coach here does not.
You know, I never actually said that studying wasn't important.
Yes, you did, at the ticket counter.
Nope, I said I was a sports recruiter. And you started in about how dumb sports are. I never even got a word in edgewise. I went to college on a sports scholarship, you know, to study. I wouldn't have made it to college without that scholarship.
And what is your degree? A bachelor's in being loud and obnoxious?
You know, being physically and mentally fit is very important for humans. It's important for marine life too. I was reading here that some species of marine life actually play games together and they build tools for themselves. Isn't that neat?
I have to agree with Abby here. As doctors, we frequently tell patients that being physical and mentally fit is both great. And
See, the good doctor here says that we need to use our minds while engaging in physical activity.
Yeah, I'm sure that looking up the stars while running will really help avoid injury.
And there you go again.
What on earth were you doing in the kitchen?
I'm a chef, aren't I? I was doing market research for our restaurant.
In the kitchen of a train?
You have to be more open-minded, Jennifer. You never know what you can learn from these situations.
This is coming from the man who has shot down every one of my ideas. See what I mean about marriage? This is what I get to deal with.
Don't listen to her. We are just a little bit on edge because this new restaurant we're opening.
You guys own a restaurant? That sounds exciting.
Well, we don't own a restaurant. Not yet, anyway. The owner's just one of those investment real estate types. He bought the restaurant thinking it would be a breeze to run as sort of a side business for himself. But he figured out pretty quickly that running a restaurant is really hard work. So he began looking for people with decent experience like us.
The owner is letting us totally design everything, right down to the paint on the walls and the napkin colors. We're hoping that if this goes well, we might be able to buy the restaurant down the road.
Is it hard going into a business with your spouse? I mean, Rachel and I love spending time together, but we have 2 separate jobs during the day.
It's definitely been a challenge, and we have been arguing a lot lately.
You're right. Let's try to enjoy the rest of our trip. One night without talk of the restaurant, okay? We can pick this up tomorrow.
Sounds good to me. So what sights are you guys planning to see on your honeymoon?
There you are, Isabella. Did you really have to change your outfit again? The one you wore before was just fine for dinner.
A movie star belongs to the public, Lucy. These people might have already seen me today, and they expect me to change my outfit.
We need to get seated so dinner can be served. I checked the chart. We're at table 3.
Lucy, who are these people sitting at my table?
I'm not sure, Isabella. The other people assigned to this table? What's the matter?
If you recall, when we purchased our tickets on this ill-conceived journey, I demanded my own dining table. I will not have my meal disturbed by these. I will not be forced to interact with these commoners.
Excuse me, Miss Madison, but I assure you that Jillian and I will be perfectly good companions tonight. There's no reason for this tantrum.
Really? This is the second time today that you've treated us like this. We don't deserve this. No one here deserves to be talked down to toward their commoners either.
Please, Miss Madison, as you can see, our dining car is full to capacity. We would love to accommodate your every request, but we cannot make more tables appear. Please sit down so we can serve the meal. We all are quite hungry.
Please, Isabella, it's fine. You don't even have to talk to them. Just have a seat.
Well, you had all better prepared to give me everything I demand for the remainder of this trip, or else none of you will be employed afterward. I am Isabella Madison, and I will be treated as such.
I can't believe how she keeps treating you. If this were a pharmaceutical conference, you could be making the demands like her. She has no idea who she's talking to.
Jillian, we can't always choose who we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, but we can be the more mature people in this situation and be better for it. Now let's sit down and try to enjoy our meal.
I'm really sorry about all this.
Oh, it's fine.
I don't think we were actually introduced. I'm Lucy Blake, Isabella's assistant. We are pleased to meet you.
I'm Avery Millen, CEO of Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals, and this is my assistant, Jillian Hill.
I've heard of that company. It's an honor to meet the CEO.
Miss Millen is the youngest CEO in the company's history and has grown the corporation more in her leadership than the last 3 CEOs combined.
Thank you, Jillian. She makes it sound more exciting than it actually is, though. The growth we're seeing now is only happening because of the work all the others before me put in.
Still, those are some impressive accomplishments. Did you study business?
Actually, she studied chemistry. Most of the company's pharmaceuticals are based on Miss Millen's own chemical designs.
Thank you again, Jillian. But when the previous CEO retired, the board of directors thought it would be a positive thing to have someone running the company who actually understood how our products worked. I did end up taking a couple business classes, but Jillian here is a huge help with the business side of things.
That's really interesting. I studied business management myself and would definitely not know anything about pharmaceuticals. So I see what the board of directors was thinking. It sounds like their decision is working well for them.
You studied business management to get bossed around by a demanding movie diva?
Jillian!
No, it's okay. I get that question a lot. Actually, Isabella and I were friends in high school. Then we went to the same college. After she started getting roles in commercials and guest TV appearances, she asked me to be her assistant because she knows nothing about business, and to be honest, I needed a job. She didn't start to get like this until that movie of hers really took off. Working with Isabella is great for now, but one day I would like to get into a different line of business.
Is everyone okay? I'm a doctor. Does anyone need medical attention? What is the meaning of this? My dinner is ruined and my clothing is soiled.
Our sincere apologies, Miss Madison. There must be a good reason
can't see anything. We're too far from the front of the train. Someone should go out there and check it out.
I don't think that's a good idea, my sports playing friend. We should probably wait till our conductor friend comes back and tells us what's going on.
And that would be your solution, wouldn't it? Just use brute force, climb out of a car, and run headlong into a potentially dangerous situation.
And if it were up to you, we'd be sitting here forever waiting on some information. Take some action.
We've been here for only moments. Some patience would benefit you. You're ridiculous. You just...
What? Come on. Why
All
are you
you
always
do-
wanting to go
No,
back?
no.
It's not going to help us in this situation.
Hey! Listen, we went to the front of the train and the conductor says there was a rock slide on the tracks. They have people cleaning it up and we should be on our way in no time.
We greatly apologize for the inconvenience. If you would all like to go to your rooms and freshen up and then return to the dining car, we can get this mess cleaned up and then serve the meal again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Come on, Isabella. I'm sure you want to go change your outfit. Isabella? Seriously, it's not that bad. You brought lots of clothes. Isabella?
Miss Madison? Miss Madison! Yo, are you taking pictures? Stop that! Everyone back up! Give us some space! You, give me some napkins. Give me water. Give me your coat to use as a blanket. I have supplies. What do you need?
Abby, there's nothing you can do.
Yes, I can. I told
Abby,
you.
Listen to me. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do. She's dead.
I just can't believe Isabella's dead. It's just awful.
I know, she was so young and wasn't sick or anything.
Wow, nothing like someone dying to ruin the feel-good atmosphere of dinner, friends.
I'm so sorry about Isabella. I know you said you two were close friends.
It's like it's not even real. I just don't know how this happened. I was with her all day and she was fine. Even at dinner she was fine. And then all of a sudden she dies? I just don't understand.
Did she hit her head when the train stopped suddenly or choke on something she was eating?
I doubt it. If something like that had happened, she would have made a scene about it, and we all would have known.
Yeah, right. What is the matter with you all? A young woman drops dead and you make jokes about her?
Jillian, I'm sure nobody meant it as a joke, right, everyone?
Right.
They were just saying she never seemed like she was sick and didn't act like she was choking.
Do you think it was something she ate? Should we be worried?
There's no cell reception here. We must be too far into the mountains right now. I'm having no luck getting a call through to the authorities, but train personnel are trying to get a hold of someone through the radio and have asked me to take on the investigation in the meantime. Lauren, did you notice any other clues or injuries?
No, me and Abby were just discussing that. While I was performing CPR, I discovered nothing on her airways, which disproves the idea that she may have choked.
Can you determine a cause of death?
Her heart just stopped. Unfortunately, I have no way of knowing how.
Lucy, did Isabella have any sort of heart disease?
No, she was totally healthy. The last time she saw a doctor was a while ago, but her checkup was fine. If she had any medical issue, I would have known about it. We didn't pick up any medicine for this trip. She hates taking any kind of medication at all.
So was it something we ate? Should we be worried?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Most all of us ate the same food. If there was something wrong with dinner, more than one of us would have been affected. And besides, other than some kinds of fish, there aren't really any foods that can just make your heart stop. And you can get food poisoning, and that can be really serious, but it isn't instantaneous like this.
So, let me get this straight. Isabella didn't have any history of heart disease or illness of any kind? She didn't eat anything that may have gotten her sick? And she didn't hurt herself when the train stopped suddenly. Her heart just stopped.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
It seems so unlikely.
You don't really think.
Wait, what are you saying?
I'm saying that I don't think this was an accident. I'm saying that I think Isabella Madison was murdered. Ella could hardly contain her shock and surprise. Murder on the 518? Improbable, but not impossible. The passengers began to speculate as they tried to process this sudden revelation.
Do you really think that someone here could have murdered Isabella? I mean, we were all right here when it happened. Wouldn't one of us seen something?
Rachel and I definitely not plan to murder anyone during our honeymoon. Romantic trips do not include dead bodies in a dining room.
Hold on there, romantic friends. Actually, not everyone was here together when our movie star friend died.
Nelson is right. Derek and Jennifer ran off to the kitchen right when the train stopped, and Morgan followed the waiter out. How can we know what they were doing while they were gone? Ella is right. I did leave the room. I went to see why the train had stopped. But think about it. If I had left the room, when would I have been close enough to Isabella to harm her? And what motive would I have had to hurt her anyways? Any crime investigator worth her salt will tell you crime needs two things: opportunity and motive. I didn't have either one. In fact, the people in the room the whole time had much more opportunity.
We went to the kitchen to make sure the sudden stop didn't cause a fire or injure anyone. We are chefs, you know.
And what motive would we have had? Isabella didn't do anything to us.
Well, you didn't seem too happy in what she called you a commoner.
Well, neither did you. It seems like that could have been pretty good motivation for someone like a professor to get pretty upset.
Oh, please. Something like a minor insult, especially since there are far stronger, more common people in present.
Again with the insults. Somehow being athletic makes me a murderer? You heard the doc. Isabella wasn't injured. Are you saying the doc is lying to us all?
Lauren is absolutely not lying. I was with her the whole time. Isabella wasn't hurt.
Don't you study fish? How would you even know if something was wrong? Besides, the doctor was the one who went from person to person right after the train stopped.
I don't appreciate your insinuation. I am a healer. A crisis happened, and I jumped in to help. While I have no desire to participate in this absurd debate, I feel the need to point out that you and your boss work for a pharmaceutical company, which gives you access to life-threatening materials. Not to mention, we all witnessed the fact that Isabella treated you both literally the whole evening. Wouldn't that make you prime suspects of foul play?
Pharmacists take an oath too, you know. I would never intentionally hurt somebody with my products.
What about Ella? A good murder could be just the thing she needs for a great story. After all, she's the one who said real life is the best story material. I am much too busy recording events to be a part of them. And from what I have recorded, it would seem that Lucy is the most likely suspect of any foul play.
That is crazy. Isabella was my best friend.
She may have been your best friend at one point, but she clearly treated you very poorly, bossing you around, making unrealistic demands, making you clean up after her mess, and you never leave her side. You had the best opportunity and motive.
She's right. Pressure like that can make people do crazy things.
We all saw how badly Isabella treated you, but yet you still say she was your best friend? What kind of sense does that make?
I think it was Lucy.
Yes,
it was definitely Lucy. She killed her best friend.
Hey,
Yeah.
everyone just hold on. You're all forgetting one very important thing. Okay, so Lucy had opportunity and motive, but she's not the only one. She's not the only one who follows Isabella around everywhere. She's not the only one who relies on Isabella for her career. In fact, if Isabella died, Lucy's career would be over. But Sydney's career would skyrocket. The money he'd make from having exclusive photos of Isabella's murder would take him straight to the top.
People, I did not kill this woman.
You must admit, Sydney, Morgan makes a compelling argument for your participation in this crime. Can you definitely prove that you were not involved?
Okay, I know I got a little excited at the mention of murder, but that doesn't mean I wanted her dead. Sure, I'm gonna profit from this, but who wouldn't jump at the chance to make some money? I mean, you all are going to Los Angeles for work.
I'm afraid I'm not convinced. I will have to confiscate your camera.
No, why my camera?
You say you didn't do this, and I do want to believe you. Innocent until proven guilty, right? So you've been taking pictures all night. You may have one that will help us identify what happened.
Fine, but I'm going with you while you look through my pictures. I go where my camera goes.
I like to join you both. If anything happened, I like to know as soon as possible.
I'll come too. You know, this is a lot like trying to help a sick animal. They can't tell you what's wrong. You have to sleuth for the clues.
Sure it is.
Do you really think Sydney could have gotten a picture of the murderer when no one here saw anything?
No one was looking for a murder when the event actually happened. Now we have the opportunity to go back through the night knowing what we are looking for. Sydney's obsession with taking pictures of Isabella might end up helping her after all.
Hey, I'm no expert or anything, but I don't think we should leave this body in the middle of the dining car till we get to Los Angeles tomorrow.
Fair point. I'd hate to disturb the crime scene, but we can't very well leave it here.
Can we all just stop calling Isabella it?
I'm sure nobody meant it like that again. Right, everyone? They're just saying she never acted like she was sick. She didn't hit her head. And there was no other reason. She didn't even choke. Maybe you should go lie down.
Hold on there, business lady friend. If there really is a dangerous person among us, is it really smart for all of us to separate from one another?
I have to agree with Nelson, especially since we do not know who the dangerous person is yet.
Well, you know what? I think this whole thing is just ridiculous. All I want to do is get to Los Angeles and have a nice honeymoon. I have a very hard time believing that anyone here murdered anyone else. Lucy, how about you stay with us?
Are you sure? I mean, I don't want to be alone, but I don't want to intrude on your honeymoon.
We would love for you to join us, Lucy. Rachel's right. We don't even know a murder happened here. Everyone needs to stop jumping to conclusions. Somebody died and that is awful. Do we have to make it more awful?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, listen here, you pansies. Right now, we just need a plan. First, Isabella's body. Who's got an idea?
Actually, I do. When Jen and I were in the kitchen, we commented that the train had a really large refrigerator. I think this train must be designed for trips longer than just overnight. I bet we could use that for this. As long as everyone's okay with dry cereal for breakfast tomorrow.
All right. Derek, you and Jennifer, go to the kitchen and handle that. Next, did anyone get any contact through the police yet? I'll take that as a no. Ella, Nelson, go to the front of the train, find the conductor, engineer, or someone, and find out if they successfully radioed for help.
Ella leapt into action, eager to gain more information for the benefit of the situation.
Come on, writer friend. Maybe you shouldn't write while you walk.
Now, all of us are just going to wait here to find out anything before they get back. Except you people. If you want to look through pictures, knock yourselves out.
Morgan, shouldn't you be giving the instructions? You are the private investigator.
Private investigators usually work behind the scenes. Once my brain gets started working on a case, I tend to forget about the things going on around me. Now, let's get to work looking through these pictures. Sydney certainly captured the whole night on this camera.
Well, it appears someone likes to hear himself talk.
Oh, shut it. I didn't see you stepping up to take any action. Seems like something a smart person would do.
Being able to bark out orders does not automatically qualify you as intelligent. But I guess you got people moving in the right direction.
Good news, everybody. We helped the kitchen staff clear space in the cooler for Isabella's body. They're cooking most of the food now for our replacement dinner.
Here's the story, my traveling friends. Our train operating friends have been in contact with the police ever since we stopped. We're basically in the middle of nowhere right now, so they want us to continue to our final destination of Los Angeles, where we'll probably have to put off our arrival plans a little bit, though, so we can talk to them.
Miss Millen, what if we miss your meeting? That's the whole point of us being here.
Oh, I'm sure the company will understand if we have to reschedule, given the circumstances.
This is just a mess. I'm gonna try and contact them to figure out this schedule out. Maybe we'll get better cell reception now that the train is moving again.
Hey guys, come help me move Isabella's body into the cooler. Lauren, come see if you think this will work for the rest of the trip.
I'll come too.
Of course you will.
Are you seriously still taking pictures? What's the matter with you? She's dead.
You bet I'm still taking pictures. Do you know how much these are worth?
Seriously, that's very inappropriate. And declaring that you're going to capitalize on her murder doesn't exactly make you sound innocent. Plus, the police are going to confiscate your camera once we get to Los Angeles. It's evidence.
But it's private property. Besides, they'll have to give it back eventually, and I'll still be the only one with these pictures.
Excuse me, everyone, but the kitchen staff is ready to serve the meal. If you could all please vacate the dining area for a few minutes, we can clean up the mess and have dinner served momentarily.
I'm sorry, but we'd better leave the dining room as is. If Isabella's death was due to foul play, there might be evidence in the room that could help us. Can we serve dinner somewhere else?
The lounge car is available, though there may not be enough table space. But as long as some people don't mind standing, it should be a fine space to serve.
I'm gonna go eat in my room, I think. I've had enough excitement for one night.
Sounds good to me. Rachel, why don't we join her?
Actually, a quiet dinner in my room sounds appealing. Can we just make our plates and take them elsewhere?
Sounds good to me. What does our private investigator think?
I suppose folks could eat in the room. It's not like anybody's going anywhere.
Of course, no problem at all. Anyone wishing to dine in their corners can collect their plates and take them to their rooms. Everyone, please. We know you're probably all very hungry. If you follow us, we'll show you to the lounge car and serve you dinner. Excuse me, sir. Did you not hear us? We'll be serving dinner elsewhere. Sir? Can you hear me? Sir? Sir? Sydney! Sydney, can you hear me?
Abby, his heart just stopped. He's dead. All right, everyone. It's time we face the facts. We have 2 people found dead due to sudden, unexplained heart failure. It's possible to believe that with one death, it was a unique occurrence. But with 2 deaths, we can't deny it anymore. There is a murder on this train. We don't know who, we don't know how, and we don't know why. But what we do know is if we don't figure this out soon, there could be more of us dead by the time we reach Los Angeles.
the cast wants to know who you think did it. So, if you have a suggestion, raise your hand and we'll call. They are really dying to know what you're thinking, all right? Okay, I will take right here. Who do you think? You think it's who? Oh, the chef dude. How many of you think it's the chef dude? Okay. Another one. Who do you think it is? Oh, the CEO, Avery. Oh, okay. How many of you agree with that? You think it's Avery? Ah, those CEOs. You got to watch out for them, don't you? Who do you think it is? Her assistant? Okay. How many of you think it's the CEO's assistant? All right. I see that. Yeah, I saw that, Noah. I'm telling Hannah. Okay. All right. Who did you think it was?
Jillian.
That's the CEO's assistant. Who did you think it is?
I think it might be the captain because he has access to everything, so he might.
Oh, that conductor who's going through there? Ooh, Drew. Yeah. You hear that, Drew? How many of you think it's Drew? Oh, Drew, you're in trouble. They think it's you. Okay. Who do you think? Oh, you're betting on the 7th graders, huh? Okay, you heard that. Somebody's for the 7th graders. All right, it's my last one. Oh, they took the tickets out here and they've got something in for Isabella. Ooh, that's a good idea. Anybody agree with that? All right. When I find my way back into this curtain, we can turn the lights down and we'll get ready to go. All right. Somewhere, where is it? Right here. I hear right here. Ah, yes. Thank you.
Ella, what are you doing?
Writing, of course.
No, you're not. You're staring at me.
Your expression is most captivating. You look despondent. Ella sat across the table from the despondent young woman. She sat in silence, quietly clinging to the small golden trinket in her hand. Ella wondered at the significance of the small golden piece.
Isabella gave it to me. I didn't even realize I had it.
The young woman was clearly deeply affected by the sudden death of her close friend and employer.
Isabella wasn't just a close friend. She was my best friend. I don't know if I feel sad or angry or frightened or what I'm feeling.
Despondent.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I just don't really understand.
Hey, Jillian, I didn't see you come in. What do you mean?
How could you say she was your best friend? She didn't seem to care about you at all, or anyone for that matter.
It's hard to explain. I think success can do things to people. Isabella never cared about being famous. She just wanted to act. She was always the happiest when she was playing a part.
Are you saying she was pretending to be mean?
Isabella's agent was always telling her that no one pays attention to nice movie stars, and that if she wanted to be noticed, she really had to make a scene wherever she went. And I know it seems like she was always so mean to me, but I know that wasn't really her. That crazy Isabella you guys saw, that was just how she acted in public. Playing another part, I guess.
But didn't it bother you that she always made herself the center of attention? Don't you think you deserve some of the credit too?
I never wanted that. I like being behind the scenes. That's why we work so well together. Why we spent all that time together for so long. I always thought that she could have made it by just being herself.
I had no idea.
Most people don't. but she built her whole image on being that stereotypical crazy movie star. I always thought she could have made it just being herself, and maybe if she wasn't so awful to everyone, she would still be alive. Anyway, you seem to spend a lot of time with Avery. You must see multiple sides of her personality, right?
Yeah, I guess a little, but she's pretty much the same person all the time. I like things to be straightforward. You know, it's been a long day. I really think you should go eat something. I think they're still serving dinner in the lounge car.
Thanks for listening. Most everyone else keeps trying to interrogate me because they think I murdered my best friend and the photographer chasing her. You're right, it has been a long day. I think I'm just gonna skip dinner and go to bed. Good night. Night.
Rachel, what's the matter?
Sweetheart, what's wrong? Why'd you run out of the lounge crying?
This just isn't how our honeymoon was supposed to go. I wanted everything to be perfect.
I know, I wanted everything to be perfect too.
Then now when we get to Los Angeles, we're gonna have to spend all of our time in a police station instead of enjoying our honeymoon. We didn't do anything wrong.
I know, all I want is to be with you too. But we're all suspects. We have to let the police do their job.
Circumstances getting you down, my honeymoon friends?
Yes, this honeymoon is turning out to be a disaster.
Oh, come on. It's not all that bad.
Are you serious? 2 people have been murdered and you say it's not that bad?
Well, think about it. It wasn't either of you two, right? And maybe you'll have to delay your honeymoon plans a little bit. But you'll be spending time alone as soon as you know it. And think of the story you'll have to tell your friends back home.
Nelson has the right idea, guys. This will all be over before you know it. For us, at least, who didn't know either of the victims.
I suppose you're right, Nelson. Rachel and I think we're losing sight of why we're on this trip in the first place.
Thanks, Nelson. I think this whole thing just made me a little crazy.
How is it that you keep so calm and positive? Didn't you say you had a meeting about your music?
Well, truth be told, my friends, I don't have a meeting. I sent a lot of my music down to the record labels here, but I never heard back from any of them. So I thought I might as well pick up my guitar and try my luck anyhow.
Well, Nelson, I don't think I would be able to have the courage to do something like that. I bet someone will decide to give you a chance.
Yeah, you're so determined. I bet your music's great. Want to share something with us?
I'd love to, friends. I think I left some of it over at the table in all the confusion.
Hey, Jillian. Hey, guys. Have you guys seen Morgan anywhere? I'm speaking her.
Sorry, business lady friend. We haven't seen much of her lately.
Are you okay? You don't look so good. Yeah, I'm fine. I just lost something. I'll look around here and see if I can't find it. What are you guys up to in here anyways? Nelson was just about ready to play some music for us. You're playing music at a table where someone just died? Don't you find that at all disturbing?
You seem upset this time. Can I help? What's missing?
No, I'm fine. I'll just look around here. But if you do see Morgan, just send her my way.
Of course, Miss Mellon. Would you stop it? You can't just come barreling in here and disturb all the evidence. Well, never mind. Clearly no one seems to care that 2 people have died in this location. And nothing should be disturbed until it is processed by the authorities. Where is that private investigator anyways? Shouldn't she be handling this?
I never said I was going to touch anything. I just left my wallet in here. I don't think that getting my wallet would disturb the evidence, do you? Why did you follow me in here anyway? Think I got something to hide?
Well, people eager to remove things from crime scenes seem somewhat suspicious. But also, if you must know, I left my reading glasses with me and left them on the table during all the confusion.
So it's not okay for me to come get my wallet, but it's perfectly fine for you to come get your glasses? Why is that? It seems pretty suspicious to me.
Because I will barrel through the room and disturb everything in sight.
I don't barrel anywhere.
Hey! You 2 stop it! You both have been at each other's throat all night. Whatever you 2 are arguing about is nothing compared to this big deal we have going on right now. If we could all just stop.
Yeah, really. You 2 should take a page out of Nelson's book of positivity.
That's not exactly what I meant.
So true, friends. So true.
If we could all just focus on the problem.
Come on, guys. Let's go be calm and positive somewhere else.
For the last time, get out of my kitchen!
You got nothing to do with these, Dad.
I'm not accusing you of murder. I'm worried about the safety of the passengers. We have to get to the bottom of this.
And is it very safe for the other passengers that we store the bodies in my cooler?
We emptied the cooler before we put the bodies in it. There's no danger to the passengers there. Hey, Julian. Did you come to help us sleuth for clues?
No, actually, I came to look for my cell phone. I lost it during all the commotion with Sydney. Did you guys put his body in the cooler too?
Unfortunately, they did. It is completely unacceptable.
Listen, for the last time, it's safe.
You are going to give me a stroke! I hate people!
Hey! Cut it out!
Look, here are two more people to invade my kitchen!
We are not here to invade your kitchen. Actually, we were just coming to tell you how much we enjoyed the dinner we just had.
What are you guys doing in here?
We were sleuthing for clues in the kitchen. Sort of. I'm convinced it's something to do with what the victims ate.
Hey, I need to speak to you. We already told you, there are virtually no foods that would cause this to happen. You searched the kitchen. Did you find any dangerous foods?
We all ate the same things. Take it from people who work in a kitchen. When you serve something like this, an event where everyone eats the same food, and all the dishes are the same, you have no idea which plate is going to end up at which table.
And do you really think the kitchen staff decided to put dangerous foods on just 2 plates? And even if they did,
Hey!
I'm not saying that you did, but what are the chances that those 2 plates would end up in front of the intended people?
I see what you're saying. What about the wait staff, though? They serve each person individually, and they were in the room the whole time before the meal was served. Plenty of time to see where each person was sitting.
Were Isabella and Sydney at different tables? Did 2 waiters decide to commit murder?
Okay, I get it. The food theory just doesn't quite add up.
If you are quite satisfied, we will be returning to the kitchen without all of you.
Something's missing. What's missing? Morgan, I need to speak to you.
I know what's missing!
What are you talking about?
Morgan says something's missing. I know what it is.
You do?
No need to sound so surprised.
I didn't mean it that way. I was just trying to... enough. Mike, tell us what's missing.
It seems like you people are all finding out the how and not finding out the why. People died. We got that. It happened in the dying car. We've got that too. Now you're just chasing around a food theory that's gotten you nowhere. You can only shoot a layup so many times without missing before you have to switch up plays and go for the outside three-point shot. So back up, reassess, and try another approach to the problem.
Ella!
You think it was Ella who killed them?
No. Ella can tell us what's missing.
I don't seem to follow you.
Well, you know how she's always writing down everything that's going on? She was taking notes the whole time we were in here for dinner. She's taking notes right now. I bet she can help us remember what we were all doing.
Abby, that's a great idea.
Hey, I bet if you put Sydney's photos together with Ella's notebook, you could paint a picture of practically everything that was going on in the room all night. Where is Sydney's camera anyway?
I remembered seeing it on the table before we moved his body. Hey, it's not here!
What? Where did it go?
Anyone could have picked it up. So many people have been in and out of this room all night, and no one would be the wiser.
Maybe Ella can tell us that too. What do you say, Ella?
Ella was displeased to have her writing disturbed. However, she recognized the importance her notes could have in solving the mysterious murders that occurred, especially in light of the disappearance of the photographer's camera, which created a large gap in the quest for visual evidence.
I believe that was a yes.
Jen, let's go see if we can find that camera.
No! All of us are staying right here until we figure this thing out.
But
I know not everyone was here, but Mike was onto something before. All of us in this room right now have been trying like crazy to figure out what happened here. Either all of us are the best actors ever, or we genuinely don't have anything to hide. Now, let's go back through the notes and try to focus on the people who haven't been trying to solve the crime. Morgan, I need to speak to you. Quickly. What's up, Avery? You don't look so good.
Avery, I don't mean to intrude, but if you're not feeling well, we really need to know.
I'm fine, actually. Good thing you're here, though. So you both know that I work at a pharmaceutical company and that I'm carrying some samples for a presentation, right? Right. Well, I opened my case after the rock site just to make sure everything was okay, and everything was fine. But when I opened my case again in my room, a vial was missing. What?
Avery, that is not good. What does it contain?
Well, that's the worrisome part. It's a new product my company's developing for people who have heart problems. It's supposed to help regulate their heart function. So what you're saying is you're missing a vial of untested heart medication on a train where 2 people have been found dead due to heart failure?
Oh my goodness!
what is it?
Avery's missing medicine that causes heart failure.
Are you serious? When were you going to share that with the rest of us?
This new development is most exciting.
Morgan, your whole let's focus on other people theory is crazy. This woman clearly had the means to commit these murders, and she had the opportunity. We should have kept the focus on her the whole time.
Do you really think she would have brought this to our attention if she was the one who committed the crime?
Maybe that's her plan, to make us think she's innocent.
But Derek, from what I'm reading here, Avery was nowhere near Sydney at any point in the evening. And I think it is somewhat far-fetched to believe that there are 2 separate murderers on this train.
Derek, come back!
Let's give those 2 a minute. Avery, tell us more about this medication. I think it's safe to assume this is the best lead we've had so far for an actual cause of death.
Well, like I said earlier, its main function is to help people with heart problems. It's supposed to help regulate their heart function.
But what would happen if someone who didn't have a heart problem took the medication?
Well, that's the problem. Too little would go unnoticed, but too much could be very dangerous.
What characteristics does a medication itself have? Would someone realize they were taking it, or could it be hidden somehow?
Actually, that's what my company's been working on. We've been developing a new line of products that have no taste and are in liquid form. So people who have trouble swallowing traditional medication can take this instead.
That sounds like a great idea. I bet it'd be useful for animals too. Focus.
Okay, so if you claim it wasn't you, who else had access to your case?
Well, that's the weird part. I'm the only one with the key. And the only time it was ever open was at my table and in my cabin.
I'm sorry about before, everyone. I'm pretty on edge. I thought we could all use some water. Anyone?
Sure. Thanks, guys.
Ella was parched from excitement and welcomed some refreshment.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you. Here you go.
Why? What's the matter?
The water glasses! That has to be what happened!
If a medicine is a liquid, it can be easily hidden in a beverage.
It's colorless and tasteless. They wouldn't even know they're drinking it.
Guys, Ella took amazing notes. And right before boat dust occurs, many of us were sipping water.
What about when Cindy died? I don't remember drinking any water then.
It's not quite as clear. But remember, right before Cindy died, those who helped move Isabella's body came came back in the dining room and had some water.
Well, good catch. So now we just gotta figure out who got close enough to get a hold of the medicine and who got close enough to get a hold to put it in the water.
We still have to find Sydney's camera, too.
I'm positive that this notebook will continue to be a valuable resource. If we continue to look back through it, I am confident that we will figure out who had the opportunity.
We might not need the notebook after all.
I think you're right.
Attention passengers, we'll be arriving in Los Angeles in approximately 10 minutes. Please be prepared to leave all belongings on board until exiting, until authorities have had the opportunity to speak to everyone individually. Thank you.
Do you both know any idea what happened?
Tell us.
Okay, everyone. We have 10 minutes before we reach Los Angeles. Grab that notebook and let's get to work. Now that we know exactly what we are looking for, we can catch the murderer by surprise if we all work together. Are you all in?
Yeah.
Go team!
Just arrived, West Coast 518, Salt Lake City has just arrived on platform 4. Just arrived, West Coast 518.
All right, back it up, folks. We're conducting an investigation here. This platform is closed. Back up. All right, folks, if you head right this way, we can start taking your statements. Please leave all belongings on the train until we can conduct an adequate search.
Right this way, folks. We will try to do this as quickly as possible. Stay together.
Sir, your guitar. Madam, your book. You with the back. Please, folks, all belongings stay on the train.
While wanting to follow the officer's wishes, Ella was dismayed at the prospect of being separated from her writing supplies during what promised to be a very exciting series of events. She also failed to comprehend how a guitar and a marine studies book could pertain to the details of this particular investigation.
What?
She doesn't like to be separated from her notebook. I can put my book back on the train, though. Nelson, do you want me to take your guitar? Avery, I can take your case, too.
That won't be necessary. I'll be handing my case straight to the police.
Miss Millen, you're handing it over? Don't you think you should keep it with you?
Nonsense. I wouldn't want to disrupt their investigation. I couldn't leave them a case of unopened samples they couldn't even open. Here's my case and a key. Hello, officers. My name is Morgan Casey, and I'm a private investigator. I wanted to deliver this evidence along with that silver case straight to you guys. In this bag contains the notepad that belongs to our resident writer, Ella Williams, which I think you will find very helpful in reconstructing the activities during the train on the journey. In the bag also contains the camera that belongs to the deceased paparazzo Sidney Bennett, who was constantly taking pictures up until he died.
You found the camera?
That's awesome. Where was it?
I didn't even know our photographer's friend's camera was missing.
Wow, what a stroke of luck for us. Poor guy might actually be able to solve his own murder.
Actually, his camera was never missing. The one I brought along to record my upcoming lecture looked very much like Sydney's. My camera is still missing. This one was under Sydney's table the whole time.
I took the opportunities to go back through the camera And Sydney took one picture as clear as day of Isabella's murder poisoning her water glass.
Oh my, he did? Wait, poison? But who?
Why didn't he say anything?
Do you think he was trying to make more money?
I knew it wasn't the food.
Photograph of the poisoning?
And let me guess, this case contains the poison?
After Isabella died, it didn't take long for us to figure out her death was no accident. Everyone else was fine. At first, we thought she might have hurt herself when the train stopped suddenly, but our doctor here confirmed that she wasn't hurt.
That's true. I checked on everyone right after the train stopped and no one was injured.
Who was it? Who poisoned Isabella?
At first, we suspected Sydney did. He had the most to gain by selling off the pictures, and of course he denied it, but he said we could look back through his camera to see if there were any helpful pictures.
And he is the other one who is deceased?
Yes, that's when we realized we had to look for another suspect.
Avery, you weren't even with the people who were looking for who killed Isabella and Sydney. Derek, Jennifer, Lauren, Abby all went with Morgan to look for clues. How did you end up being the one who figured it out?
Well, I realized I was carrying a whole case of potential danger. When I opened my case right after the rock slide, everything was fine. But when I opened it again in my room, a vial was missing.
You're missing dangerous medicine? We will have to find it. The rest of you could be in danger.
Your medicine poisoned Isabella? It was you. It must have been you. No one else had access to your case. Plus, you were sitting at the same table as Isabella for dinner. And you just said in front of everyone that you opened the case right before she died. I can't believe you tried to make me feel better right after you killed her.
Lucy, listen. I thought the same thing at first, but when I looked back through Ella's notebook, I realized that Avery was nowhere near Sydney at any point in the evening. She didn't kill Sydney, and she couldn't have killed Isabella.
But there was one other person at the table with you and Isabella. One other person who handled the open case of medicine. And the only other person who was near both Sydney and Isabella right before their deaths.
Jillian.
Going somewhere? Gotta be quicker in that spot. Surprise.
Fine, you figured it out. It was me.
I don't believe this. Jillian, how could you?
I didn't mean to kill her, Lucy. Honest, I didn't.
But you did kill her. And why Sydney? Why?
I was so angry at the way she treated us back at the train station, and again at dinner. She was so rude to everyone. I mean, what did she think gave her the right to treat us like this? Fame doesn't give you the right to act that way.
You killed her over a couple of insults?
No. All I wanted to do was embarrass her. When I realized that Sydney was on the train taking pictures of her, I thought, what would be just the thing to bring down her perfect Hollywood image? She was so worried about looking her best and being better than everyone else that I figured a bunch of pictures of her getting sick all over the train right before her big movie premiere would be just the thing to mess that up.
So you poisoned her to make her sick?
When Avery opened the case after the train stopped, I slipped out the vial closest to me before we shut it again. When I saw my opportunity, I put some in her vial. But I never meant for her to die. I had no idea what I put in her water would kill her.
How many times have I told you that the things we work with are very dangerous? What on earth were you thinking? And why kill Sydney, though? He was going to sell off the embarrassing pictures just like you had planned.
When he started talking about how he was going to make all this money from the pictures, I realized it didn't matter what happened to Isabella. She was still going to be famous, and Sydney was going to get rich from her fame.
So you killed him.
When Morgan and Avery decided to go through his camera to find a picture of the murderer, I knew I had to get it. He never stopped taking pictures, and I was sure he had a picture of me poisoning Isabella's water, and I knew I'd never get it from him willingly. So, when I saw my opportunity, I put the rest of the vial in his water.
You knew it was gonna kill him, and yet you did it anyway.
And for nothing. I went back to get his camera as soon as I could and hid it in my coat pocket, but now I find out that I have someone else's. I never even saw anybody else with one.
That's because no one else had one.
I wondered why you kept calling this empty water glass a camera. Just glad I went along with it.
Avery and I figured out that Jillian was the only one who had access to the case of pharmaceuticals, and we knew she must be the murderer. Holly went back through Ella's notes, and we realized Jillian must have Sydney's camera. But we knew she would never give up the evidence unless we tricked her into it. That's when I decided that if we pretended we still had Sydney's camera, it might make Jillian nervous enough to confess. And I was right.
So this is Sydney's camera. And you all never had a picture of me poisoning anyone.
Of course, now that you've confessed in front of all of us, it doesn't really matter if we have a picture or not. You're under arrest. Let's go.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling passengers.
Well, folks, we'll still have to ask you all to come down to the station for official statements. But now that we have the murderer, we should be able to wrap this up soon enough. If you will follow me, we have cars waiting to take you downtown.
Nice work, everyone. Abby, brilliant idea on the camera bluff.
Abby, I know I didn't want to walk on this trip, but obviously this trip had other plans. You're a great asset throughout the chaos, and I know you'll make a great vet tech.
That means so much coming from you. I learned so much about how to work under pressure in animal emergencies and everything.
Well, Mike, I must admit, you had some pretty effective insights throughout this investigation. Perhaps I underestimated you.
I'll teach you to judge a book by its cover. Hey, Professor?
So, I never did hear what your degree was in.
Criminal justice.
Well, this was all very surprising.
I'll say, what a way to start a honeymoon.
Derek and Jennifer, you guys worked really well together to help solve this crazy case.
I suppose we did. You know, we work much better together when we aren't fighting.
You're right, Jen. We need to find a way to keep ourselves on track, listening to each other, and working together on the restaurant instead of working against each other.
If I may, my cooking friends, I happen to know a fabulous musician who's looking for work and is great at keeping people calm and relaxed.
Come on, Nelson. Let's talk terms in the car.
Hey, Lucy.
Hi, Avery.
Are you coming?
Yeah, I just can't believe this. I'm really sorry I thought you were a murderer.
Actually, I kind of blame myself, too. I never expected my assistant would do something like that.
You couldn't have known what Jillian would do. I don't think anyone would have guessed it. I know I didn't.
I know this isn't the best timing, but I find myself in need of an assistant. Someone who has good organizational skills and someone who is good at taking commands. Someone who might be in need of a job.
Me? You want me to be your assistant?
I know you'll be busy with Isabella's affairs right these couple months, but as soon as you get a chance, give me a call. Salt Lake City is a great place to live.
I will. Ella, come on. Ella realized that she was the last train passenger remaining on the platform. And before joining the others, she reflected on the bizarre series of events that befell her and her fellow passengers on West Coast 518. After this trip, it was unlikely that any of their lives would ever be the same. Friendships torn apart, new relationships forged, old relationships made stronger, and new opportunities presented. What an amazing story this would make!
take a group picture, so we're going to take a group picture right now. If you want to
She
take
said
it, you
stay
can too.
put.
So don't go. They forgot. I need lights. Thank you. You're welcome to take a group picture too. All right, we haven't tried it. Find a spot. Taller in the back, short in the front. And even shorter in the front.